Hi, welcome to this lesson. Previously, we discussed global scope and some of the available objects. In this video, we will look at NPM, which is Node Package Manager. We will learn how to install, update, and remove packages. NPM is the default package manager for Node.js, providing a vast ecosystem of open source packages and tools that enhances the development workflow for Node.js applications. Now, NPM is one of the important tools in Node.js ecosystem as it helps you manage dependencies and lots more in your application. Okay, so we are going to explore some of the commands that you can make use of when you have npm installed. But for now, these packages and dependencies that you are importing are basically modules that individuals or companies have already created and made it public so that different people can access it and make use of it. Okay, so when creating your custom modules, you can actually publish it and make it public for people to make use of. All right, so that's the power of understanding how modules works in Node.js. All right, so back to how we can set up and install npm. So I'm going to switch to VS Code, and we are going to start our demo from there. All right, guys, so we have our VS Code right here, and I'm just going to start by initializing a new file. And of course, I can save this anywhere. Let me save it inside this. I'm calling that workspace, and I'm putting every file in there. And this file is npm slash index.js. All right, so I'm calling this index.js. Okay, so first thing, you need to make sure that you have npm installed. And if you have correctly installed Node.js in your system, definitely you should have Node.js installed. But for verification's sake, let's check that out. So I'm going to basically open my terminal right here. And I like this to be. So I'm going to check npm -v, and let's see. So we have version 9.6.7 installed. So this simply means that we have npm installed. All right, so the first thing to do is to navigate to this folder where you have this file. So of course I can do that with document /node.js backend course, and we have workspace, and yeah, so we have the file right there. So let's see. All right, so we have the file just right there. All right, so what we can do is to start making use of npm to install packages. The first command we need to learn is how to install packages, but before that, let's look at how to initialize npm package, or how to initialize package.json in our project. So we can do that by making use of npm init. So npm init, which is short for initialize. So once you type in this command, npm is going to ask you a series of questions so that it can set up your project correctly for you based on the options that you've selected. So I'm going to pass through this particular process so that you look at how it is done. So I'm going to press enter. And first is asking me for the package name. Of course, I can call this workspace, which is what the name of the last folder is. But here I'm going to call this Express boilerplate. Okay, that's actually very long, but let's just call it Express codes. Okay, and the next thing is, all right, so it's giving me information that the name can no longer contain capital letter. So I need to make sure I change that. So Express codes. I guess this is better. Okay, so next it's asking me for the version number. Of course, we are starting this project and it should definitely start at version 1, or if you are using semantic versioning, you should start with version 0.0.1. All right, but any versioning is good. So I'll go with the default. Next is asking me for description of this particular project. I'm going to say this is a course on NPM. All right, so that's very short, and I will press enter. So next is asking me for entry points for this particular NPM package or project that I want to create. So of course, the entry point is the index.js because that is where Node.js compiler is going to look into and start compiling our code. Okay, so I'm going to choose the default that is listed here. And next is going to ask me for test command. So here is asking me, in case I have tests, what is going to be like the command to execute this test. All right, so I'm going to leave this blank for now because I am not writing any test. All right, so Git repository, of course, is asking me this in case I want to kind of add version control systems in this particular project that I am creating. So if you don't know anything about version control system, you can check out our course on the Mastering Backend platform. So we have a course on Git and GitHub. All right, so for now, it is just demo and I don't want to specify anything. So I will move forward. Next is asking me for keywords. So why that is important is if you publish this on the public repository where we have lots of NPM packages, you might want to add some keywords so that it is easily identified when people search for it. For now, I don't care about that, so I just press in enter. Next is asking me for author. Of course, this is a new package that I might actually create out, so I need to add my name right there. So you can leave that blank as well, but of course, let's just add that. Next is asking me for license. This is actually free to use, and I don't care about licensing right now. I don't want to make it commercial, or I don't want to make it open source either. But of course, it's just going to sit here on my laptop, and I don't really care about the licensing. So I can just use the default right now. All right, so this is what NPM is going to generate for us. And of course, it's asking me if this is okay. I can say no, of course, although the option is not specified, but of course, this is okay by me, and I'm just going to press yes. All right, so while we have that done, if you notice the folder settings right now, you have package.json file created for you, and it has this information. So let's take a look at that. So I'm going to open folder, and I'm going to open this current folder that we are on. And when I do that, sorry, let me close this. I see the two files. So I see npm index.js. Of course, I wanted to create a folder before the index.js. All right, so we have the normal file that we've created, and here we see the package.json file that npm basically created for us. And in here is going to contain the information that we have specified and more information that we are going to look into in the next video. Okay, so we can start by looking at some of the commands that npm comes with, and the most important one here is the install command that helps us install packages from anywhere on the internet. So since this is an Express code, we need to install Express. So I can say npm install Express. So when I do this, there will be a lot of things that is happening. First, it is actually importing Express and installing all the dependencies or packages that Express itself depends on. Okay, so how did I know this? If you look at the new folder that is created for us, this folder houses all the packages that is being installed as we install more packages in our projects. All right, so if you look at it, you notice that it has a lot of folder and also a lot of files within these folders. The reason why we have lots of it is because Express as a package or as a dependency depends on other dependencies, all right? And these other dependencies also depend on other dependencies. And that is the reason why we have lots of dependencies that is imported or that is what installed, because npm is going to install all the dependencies and even the dependencies dependency, all right? And that's why we have lots of it right here. All right, so you have seen how you can install packages that are publicly available into your project. We have demonstrated that using npm install. All right, so the next command is npm update. You can basically update the express, assuming there is a new version. So now we have version 4.19.2. So assuming there is a new version, let's say version 4.20.1, you can basically use this command to update this Express framework into the new version. And to do that, you simply type npm update and then the name of the package that you want to update, which is Express in our case. And if you press enter, of course, there is no new version, and npm is going to tell you that it is up to date. All right, so moving on, we have the next command, which is remove. All right, so I'm going to clear this out, and you simply say npm remove a package, assuming you don't want them anymore. So here I'm going to say npm remove express, and it's going to remove express and all its dependencies out of our project. Okay, so as you can see, the dependencies are all gone and express is gone from our project. All right, so there are lots of commands that comes with npm, and you can go further into studying them, but for the most part, these commands I've listed out are the ones that you'll be working with mostly. And there's one most important one. So assuming you want to run this project, remember that we have an entry point right here. Okay, so when the Node.js compiler wants to compile this code, it's going to look for this file, and from there it's going to get access to all other files. So assuming you want to run this code and see the result, you can simply add that script right in your package.json so that you don't have to type it repeatedly. For example, if you want to run this file, let's say we have console.log as our application, we have hello world right here, right? So this is our only application. If you want to run this in Node.js, what you need to do is to always type node and then the name of the file, like that. And that is going to print out hello world for you. But if you want to kind of not repeat typing Node.js, you can simply type in this command here and call it start. Let's call that particular command start. Sorry, need to put it in quote, and then we have start. And then here, I'm going to type in node. I want it to always start this particular file when I run this command. Okay, so you type this in, and anytime you want to run this file, or anytime you want to run your Node.js project, you don't need to always use node and then the name of the file anymore. You can simply say npm start, and that is obviously going to start your npm project. Okay, so you can automate this by using different packages like nodemon to always automate this process. Anytime you save a file, it's automatically going to restart the project. Okay, so that is one benefit of using the script tag and commands like this. All right, so that was a quick one on npm, and there are lots of commands that you need to learn on npm, but these ones I've listed are actually the commonly used ones. In the next video, we are going to look at package.json fully and try to understand all the different options or properties that you can pass to this package.json file. So with that, let's see you in the next video.